Mr. Banowetz, has anybody forced you or threatened you to get you to enter into this plea today?
An unexpected guilty plea from a Wentzville man in the gruesome killing of a well-known Metro East attorney. That surprise move by Timothy Banowetz coming just as opening statements were set to begin. Good afternoon. I'm Corey Stark in for Samantha Jones. So now Banowetz takes responsibility for killing Randy Gori and armed robbery. Our Julia Avery is in Edwardsville wrapping up what was not expected.
It was certainly something none of us saw coming. In an exclusive jailhouse interview that News 4 got yesterday with Banowetz, he repeatedly said he does not want to plead guilty. Now, take a look at what happened this morning in court.
Do you still wish to enter into your plea of guilty today? The court would make the following findings. The court finds that Mr. Banowetz understands the nature of the charges against him. He understands the rights that he has, that he's making a knowing and voluntary waiver of his rights.
After what lasted only about 15 minutes, the families left the Madison County Criminal Justice Center visibly emotional on both sides. We did get a chance to speak with Randy Gori's father.
I'm glad it went down good today, and it was a heinous crime against my son and society, so I'm glad it settled today and he's pleading guilty.
Shortly after the plea, there was a press conference here at the Madison County Courthouse where the prosecutor laid out the evidence that they plan to use in the trial. He said that they have the search history from Banowetz's computer, which included a search of Gori and his children. It included things like searching for zip ties and what does $1 million look like. Now, I asked the prosecutor, how did Banowetz know to target Gori? And he said another thing on his computer was a search of rich people in the area. I'm in Madison County. Julia Avery, News 4.
And building on what you just heard from Julia, more about that evidence. They say that Gori was stalked by Banowetz, and prosecutors had overwhelming evidence, which included that extensive cyber stalking by Banowetz of Gori. He was also caught by cameras at area stores buying items to commit the crime. And Gori's own surveillance showed Banowetz approaching Gori and his children at the Gori home and binding their hands with zip ties.
The evidence in this case tells a simpler tale. Greed and envy in a warped mind, which caused a terrible, cold-blooded murder for money. Some people can't admit they did wrong until the last possible moment, and this was the last possible moment. The practical effect is this. Banowetz is now facing up to 70 years in prison, and we will be arguing for that maximum number. So, for all practical purposes, he will never see the light of day as a free man again.
So Hain also says police found a step-by-step written list on Banowetz at the time of his arrest showing how he planned to carry out the crime. The next step is for the court to schedule a sentencing hearing. Open plea means there is not an agreed upon number of years for that sentence, but a range for the sentence. Hain says his office will push for the 70-year maximum.